Classic Luddy. Hello, my friends. I am back. I am back again streaming. I am going to be playing Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the Dragon on the PlayStation 1. So we have it here. You can clearly see that I have it in my hand. No, you can't, I'm sorry. But yeah, Spyro the Dragon. Some ASMR. Disc. There, you got some ASMR. But Spyro the Dragon is such a great game, such a fun game. It's made by INSOMNIAC, and it's one player, takes up one memory card block of space, which is very good compared to a lot of PlayStation 1 games. Like Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace on PlayStation 1, that takes up a lot of space. That takes up like almost like a whole memory card, I think. A whole memory card of space. So for this game to look this good and to only take up one block of space is very impressive. But anyways, as you can see, I have some games here on my PlayStation 1. Some save datas. I have Crash Bandicoot 3, Medieval, Spider-Man, Crash Bash, Crash Bandicoot 2, the OG Spyro the Dragon, which we're going to play, Spyro 2, SpongeBob Super Sponge, and Eggs of Steel. So, to commemorate, or to commence this live stream, we're going to delete, that's right, delete Spyro the Dragon save data and start it from the beginning. And as you guys can see, I do have a amount of times I've succumbed to death counter. So every time I die, I will be updating that. Hellflame, Happy New Year's. What's up, man? Good to see ya. So I'm going to delete the save file that I have. Farewell, save file. Alright, and then we will insert the disk. Okay, now we will restart the PlayStation. Kohai says Happy New Year in 40 minutes. Cool. Nice. Yeah, I hope you guys had a great day today. Hope you guys have a great day tomorrow after New Year's has completed. Look at how majestic Spyro is. Look at him with his big beady eyes and his tiny violet golden wings. Alright, the memory card in slot 1 does not have a save file. We will create a file because we just deleted it. New game. Alright. In the world of dragons.
Okay, rolling.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure.
Just look at that sheep animation.
14,000?
Look at it.
What about this Ganasty Gnort character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors.
Hellflame says
cause.
Barney's
I'll
little
take that
brother.
question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature. Vampire. He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly.
Nasty Gnorc
Does it?
has cable. He has live television. He
Looks
has
like I
premium
got some
subscriptions.
things to do.
Man, could you imagine having that solid of an internet or a cable connection that instantly you can see it right away and then you like flash and blast them? Hellflame asked, did he just kill them? Well, he used some kind of magical power to freeze them. So we're gonna unfreeze this guy.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
For
Free 10
releasing him.
dragons in the artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, we just gotta find some dragons. Cool, cool. And then also we got these thugs over here that we can jump and run into. So we press X to jump, square to ram them, and then circle to breathe fire. We can also double tap X to glide, which is cool. And then triangle, I think, shows just oh, if you hold triangle, you can see in kind of this second person type of view. You guys might hear fireworks in my background. That's because just people around me tend to like to do that sort of thing. So, yeah. If you guys hear explosions, it's not because I'm a dragon. It's just because of my neighborhood. Okay. Let's go ahead and collect some more gems first. But yeah, this game is pretty fun, pretty low-key. Pretty nice, pretty chill. Hellflame says it's the Mafia. The Mafia, you say. Could be the Mafia, I don't know. Maybe Raymond has made a comeback. He's traveled all the way from Africa to the US. You never know. It's very possible. But seems impossible given that the guy was like very young. You know, that guy Raymond, he actually posted a YouTube short on his channel before I'd removed him or banned him from this channel, because I did end up well, actually no, I timed him out from the channel for like a day, and then I banned him from the Discord just because he's too much. We don't want people like that. But you know, if you had gone to his channel, you would have seen that he posted a short, which was a King of Fighters short, and then you would have heard a voice giving a narration like,
"Hey guys, I'm showing you this game, and this is the game that I'm playing right now. It's this King of Fighters, and I'm Terry."
You would have heard a little tiny baby voice like that. So the guy was actually just some kid from Africa that was somehow obsessed with mafia culture, that he ended up just succumbing to his own demise from the Classic Luddy channel. So I don't know if we will ever see that character again, but you never know. You never know. One day, maybe 10 years later, we might have like a Mr. Incredible type of moment where he's like the kid, and he comes back and he says, he like becomes my arch rival. So you never know. Hellflame says, wait, for real? Yes, absolutely for real. I'm being 100% serious. I'm not 100% sure whether he'll go the route of the Incredibles film, but what I'm telling you about his channel is true. It's absolutely true. Even Ben Goku can confirm if he arrives on the scene of the Spyro livestream. Alright, we need a key for this thing. So we're gonna We're gonna continue looking. And these frogs here turn into butterflies somehow. And that helps our little guy Sparks here to get some health. So we're just gonna jump across here and fight this big old fat guy. We're gonna blow his ass on fire. And he's dead. He just shit out a gem for us, which is very kind of him, but we had to do such an awful thing. But it's alright. Look at this guy. See, these people don't know how to be civil. So sometimes we just gotta kick some ass, you know? Sometimes we just gotta flame their ass up. Hellflame knows this very well. It's in his name, so he should know the deal.
Oh, it's you. I wasn't sure if you'd escape those annoying little creatures. Of course, they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. Metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
So metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack should take care of them. You know, we know that because we've actually played this game before, or I've actually played it before. Hello, Ben Goku. Ben Goku comes from the future today. That's pretty impressive. You know, guys, I don't know if this stream is gonna be super long because, you know, I'll probably make this stream about 4 hours or so, but it won't be super long because I haven't slept since last year. So, yeah, it's a thing. I haven't slept since last year. Hellflame says, "How you doing, Ben?" And it looks like we succumbed to our first death, so I'm gonna update that. That's 1. Amount of times I've succumbed to death is 1. Ben Goku says, "Good, bro. How about yourself?" Nice. Nice, nice. There's a lot of brotherly love in here. You know, you would think that it was Philadelphia, but it's actually just a classic Luddy livestream. It's actually just a guy playing Spyro with some of his homies. Just chilling, just talking, just vibing. It's pretty much what it is right now. And I just got smashed again. Not in a good way. So I'm gonna flame this guy's ass right now. And he's gonna poop out a gem for me. Thank you. And it's worth 5. It's a really large gem he had inside of him. It's worth 5 gems. Could you imagine that? Then we got this big fat old metal guy. We gotta blow him from the back. Ben Goku, don't say anything. Don't say anything about that, please. Alright. 5 gems, nice. Ben Goku has a shocked face. We got some treasure. We're gonna go ahead and shoot this guy in the back. Give him some back shots. And just continue on. Just continue freeing our friends here. Oh, shit. Oh my goodness. Oh, shit. The purple. We succumb to the purple drink. Ben Goku with the red faces. First he's blue face baby, then he's red faced. Alright, we got this guy again. Nice, we went ahead and rammed him. Alright, let's go ahead and jump up here. Then we can fly around. We can fly over here. Somehow. There's a way, there's a way. We got this. Hellflame's laughing. He says he can't fly out. Yes, some dragons just can't they just can't hold it. They just can't live up to the hype sometimes. Elite Bleb, welcome. Says enjoy the adventure. What's up, man? Good to see ya. Thanks for saying that. Yes, I will absolutely enjoy the adventure, along with my pals here. And you can be a pal too. You are a pal, you know? Elite Adventure, or Elite Bleb, sorry. I just got so caught up in the adventuring that I called you Elite Adventure. But yes, Elite Bleb, thanks for your comment. Ouch. Let's see if I can fly on this other side. Oh, there we go. Nice. That was pretty easy. Alright, let's go ahead and shoot these guys. Shoot him in the stomach. He fell over. This guy. And this guy. Alright. Nice. Now let's shoot this big old fat guy down here. Nice. Alright. That would be Shrek if he let himself go. But thankfully we didn't get that movie. We got his, we got kind of like the spin-off here in Spyro. But except there's no swamp.
Big enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged. But a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Ah, quick flame. I've heard of that before. I remember when I once turned on a stove and I had seen something that was like a light. And I was told that it was a flame, so I think that's what he's talking about there. But let's keep going. Let's keep looking around for some stuff. Oh, we got a bouncy belly over here. Let's go ahead and wait for them to turn around so we can go ahead and blow their back out, quite literally. And there we go. Alright, we killed them before, so that's why we got a little cotton ball. Let's see. Another cotton ball. Alright. Signs of the times. And let's free this guy. Rescue Oswin.
Spyro, want to know a secret?
Okay.
Use the triangle button when you want to zoom in and look around.
Oh, your secret's safe with me.
Wow, it's actually a secret to look very closely at things. Who would have guessed, man? Maybe because you can do like stuff like this and then kind of look at this lady right here and see how long her neck is. She's kind of like a zebra if you think about it. Or a giraffe. Yeah, giraffes have the long necks, right? So you could do stuff like this. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on and go collect some more gems and find this key. Oh. And then Ben Goku with the redhead right there. Ben Goku is actually a redhead today. Alright, let's take this red gem for red Ben Goku. And then we will keep going. Ouch. That's what happens when you're dumb and you just bump into things. You know, when I was like 1 year old, I think I did that. So it's pretty embarrassing that I did that just now. I mean, it's not really something I strive to do, guys. Here in the Classic Luddy channel is bump into... Oh shit, I did it again. Yeah, it's not something I strive to do on a daily basis, because I'm not actually 1 year old anymore, if you guys could believe that. Yeah, I'm actually like more than one. So now we're flying home. We got a bunch of gems that we stole from these green guys. We shot up a bunch of fat guys to get it. Oh shit, it's like I'm 1 year old again. Maybe that's why I don't remember a lot of things, because I just bumped my head so often. Ben Goku says this game still looks great. Yes, it actually really does. Really looks great. For PlayStation 1, this is peak. This is peak graphics. And as I said earlier in the live stream, it's actually super impressive that the save data for this is just one block of memory. You know, like there's games like Star Wars The Phantom Apprentice Episode 1 where it takes up like the whole block the whole memory card to save the game.
Flash, do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal behind me. You can
Ben
challenge
Goku
him.
says, "Your peak graphics, bro. Thanks." Thanks, man. Thanks. Well, unfortunately, right now I'm a 2D image, so I guess 2D is peak after all. A 2D image that has no movement of his mouth, except through audio. Alright, let's go ahead and take down these freaking corn witches. Then these dogs that are bipolar, that they come when they think there's danger, and then they just walk away super slowly. They really leave themselves open to danger when they do that. So you don't want to be a bipolar dog. That's just my suggestion. Ben Goku says, "I'm waiting for the new Wordle." I felt that. Yeah, sometimes you just lie awake, waiting for the Wordle, just to see how smart you really are. But sometimes the eyes just give out, and you just can't stay up long enough. But I think today I'm very curious. I'm actually really curious what today's Wordle is. I wonder if it's going to be something related to 2025 or just related to calendar days. I don't know. Should be interesting. But I don't know. I don't know if the New York Times would make it either that easy or that difficult and do something like that. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what these guys are supposed to be, because they look like they have a corn nose with a white beard. Like, they almost look like, I don't know if you guys have seen VeggieTales, like that one carrot-looking guy, but he just has a beard, you know? I don't know what he's supposed to be. It's kind of weird. But it is unique. It is original at the very least. It's original. Oh, and they turned around. He turned around, okay. He's actually pretty smart. He's actually very smart for 1998. Alright, we got him. And then for these, I think we just run into them. Alright, cool. And then we got this beautiful orange sunburst background with a nice Willy Wonka mountain range here. I mean, it's a color of Spyro too, so it really complements his skin. Rescued Nevin.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on. I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. This boss has many tricks up his sleeve.
Oh my goodness, sounds like my old employer. He would have many tricks up his sleeve. Like one time, he actually called me out in front of a customer when I was actually doing an oil change on a car. And then he ended up just thinking he was the real deal, like the real shit, right? And he went ahead and told me that I did things wrong in front of the customer. And I told him off. I told him like, hey, you know, well, there's things you do wrong too. And then you know what he did? He got really embarrassed. And then he told the customer, I'm sorry, I have to step away. And then he realized that he couldn't just mess with me like that. So, you know, some bosses do have tricks up their sleeve. Dragon is very right. But you just gotta combat those tricks sometimes. See, like this guy. This guy's a sheep. He's not a dog, he's not a wolf. He's just like a weak old sheep right here. Oh shit. Damn it, I succumbed to death once again. I'm sorry, my friends. That was such a misstep on my part. It's with Circle. With Circle, I breathe the fire. Hellflame says my boss been crying every time, ever since someone smashed his wife. Wow, that's pretty sad. I mean, what was his wife smashed with? Like a piano, some bricks? Like how did that happen? That sounds really tragic, actually. I don't know that. I mean, if that was my wife, I'd probably be crying too. It's really tragic. Oh, shit. These dogs are crazy. Let's go ahead and get this this sheep here on these wooden poles. Perfect, alright. He had a lot of constipation because he just shit out 15 stones worth of gems. So yeah, that guy really had it coming. Hellflame says, I don't work at the same place if I had a woman. Fair enough, man. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta have that work-life balance, you know? You can't just always be... be at home and be there, but... I mean, I feel you. Sometimes that's the way it's gotta be, but for some other people it works, so everyone's different. Samurai. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see ya. Says... Lud, why you gotta stream Spyro while I'm gone? So cool. Gonna tune back in later. Still quite busy. No worries, man. Sounds good. If anything, man, we always got the stream. The stream's gonna be on YouTube, so if you feel like watching it some other time later, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, hope to see you later if you do come back. So if you look here, look at all this this nice greenery. You can see that it's actually green and pink. And if you don't know, pink and green are actually complementary colors. It's not red and green. Yeah, that's actually a myth that a lot of people have told other people. Old color theorists have led us to believe that red is actually opposite to green, but in reality, in more recent times, it's been magenta. It's been magenta all along. Hellflame says, I thought it was red, black, and gold. If we're talking about complementary colors, it's green and magenta, blue and orange, and I believe I'm not sure what's with yellow. But for a fact, it's green and magenta. So green and magenta are complementary colors. They're true complementary colors. So for example, if you see red and green together, it will still look visually appealing because that was the root basis of the theory. But yeah, in recent times, we've just come to learn about science. Science has been a part of life, apparently. Actually, did I just go in the same place before? No, I don't. I think I may have, but I just didn't open this. I think I may have gone in the same place. Yes, I did. Let me go get the key. Yes, I totally forgot to open that chest right there. So let's go ahead and finish it. After we blow out this big old fat woman, I think. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Oh. Alright. Let's go ahead and jump. Let's avoid the purple drink, because I'm guessing since Spyro is purple, the drink is purple, they just don't mix together too well. And again, I'm crashing into walls like I'm 1 year old, so I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to do that. I really don't. Let me just adjust something right here. Just checking my audio levels really quick. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this chest. Hopefully we get some mythic or purple or orange weapons. Alright, we just got some gems. Yeah, that was kind of expected, but sometimes you can hope. You can hope for orange or purple, even blue. Blue is even good. But, you know, you just gotta roll with the punches sometimes. Alright, let's go home. We don't need to feast our eyes on something that's not feastable. Like these big old fat green guys. They've done all the feasting themselves. Okay, so we went there. Let's go ahead and go here to Stonehill. 274 treasures. That's quite a lot of treasures. Alright, this map is pretty cool, actually. Man, I remember just running around in this map just like a little kid, you know, like I was coloring on the walls. I was like, la 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 la. And yeah, I was just running around and just having a jolly good old time as a dragon. You know, I would just ram my horns like this into these sheep. They thought they were hot shit until they ran into my spicy horns. But they just have gray old horns. Mine are nice and brown. Nice and brown, ready to just knock them out. So pretty easy, pretty good. Yeah, it's really cool to just fly around sometimes. And then you can also fly in this place. I think there's some secret stuff. Let's see. Yeah, there's actually a dragon right here. Oh, and you can actually fly up with some magic pixie dust. Yeah. But let's go ahead and free our friend here, who's locked in the ice. Alright. Rescued Gavin.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong. Like me.
Sure.
Yeah, Spyro's in complete disbelief. He's not sure how. He's not sure how he got so strong just off the butterfly diet. It's because Spyro has probably seen some other fitness influencers at that time. He probably saw that they don't eat butterflies. He probably saw that they don't have blue skin. You know, he has purple skin, so he was like, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, sometimes I just gotta ram into things like a little dragon does. Hellflame says the voice sounds like Greg Kipes. Greg Kipes, you say? Oh, you're saying Spyro's voice. Yes, he does sound very similar to Beast Boy. I think he might be the voice actor. I'm not too sure. That's actually a good observation. Very good observation.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
So he knows of the reputation of Spyro. He knows that Spyro's a good old dragon. Spyro actually got all A's on his report card, so the guy knows that. That's why he said it. You know, it's not like he's gonna lie about it or be sarcastic. You know, he's an older dragon. Older people typically are smarter, wiser. They're not usually the lying type, so his word can be trusted. I mean, that goat there is old, but he doesn't know when to give up. But with dragons, it could be different, you know? I feel like it might be different with dragons. So that's just my 2 cents there. All right, Astor.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
You know, you have to think You have to think, what was so wrong with that story? You know? Like, was it a traumatic experience? Like, was Spyro... Does Spyro have a really malicious history with this dragon? You really have to think, like, why did Spyro not want to hear that story of that kind old man? Who knows? Only the developers and the people that made the game would know that. So we just have to ask them on Twitter. I bet they'll respond. But, you know, we just gotta ram into these sheep, or these goats, whatever you want to call them. They look like orange potato chips if they were balls of potato chips. And then we got another dragon up here. But yeah, these levels are pretty nice, pretty simple, pretty chill, like I've stated before. Let's go ahead and turn around and go in here. And we'll free our friend, Gildas.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
Alright, so we gotta press the X button and the triangle button to drop. You know, that guy kind of sounded like a mix between Patrick and Mr. Krabs somehow. And he also sounded like he could be the voice actor for Neo Cortex. I don't know, that's just my observation, but he did sound kind of like that. Also, we can actually jump up here. We can fly up here and get some extra stuff. You know, unlike other games where there's an invisible wall, in Spyro there's just, you can just go on top, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. Really good level design. Let's go ahead and get this who appears to be an Islamic man, but we won't talk about that. Why are we ramming into him? We don't know. We're not too sure. So we just gotta go after him, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You know, he's wearing a teal hijab with a pink egg. You know, blue is for boys and pink is for girls, so there has to be something behind it. Alright, we got him. Nice. Alright, we got a pink egg. I forget what the pink eggs do, but I believe they're just a bonus item. Just for clout. And there it is, actually, I lied. You know, I lied to the entire audience here. There's actually invisible walls here, but yeah, it's just, I guess it's just a fact of video games. You know, there's just some walls sometimes that you can't go through. But let's go ahead and go up here, get some gems, some green ones. Maybe we'll find a blue one, who knows? Still a green one. Alright, I think we're all good here with the gems. And this is where we came from, so that's pretty cool. Everything connects. Everything does connect in this level. The only thing that we need to find is the way out. So I think we took care of all the bosses. Let's see what's in this water over here. I know Spyro is allergic. Yeah, I think he'll take some damage if we go in there. So we don't want to do that. And yes, okay. Here is the return home. After a long day of drinking, Spyro has returned home. From Stone Hill, actually. Never mind, a long day of smoking. Which literally he can do. So it really isn't far-fetched. It's not far-fetched to say Spyro smokes, you know? From Stone Hill. Alright, let's go inside. Let's go inside the dragon's mouth. Toasty. $439 treasures. Alright, we got 5 Spyro lives and 5 cotton balls. Oh, I'm sorry, we already came here. I'm just too immersed in the game that I'm not even immersed in it, you know? Sometimes it just be like that. But let's just go ahead and run around back to where we need to go. Alright, he's gonna open it for us, because we told him off. Okay. He like kind of stopped me mid-animation. That's interesting. Alright. So we finished Toasty. We finished 2 other levels. Let's go ahead and find out how many levels are in this little world here. This hub. I believe there's an additional level over here. We have to go over here. Yep. That's how you do it. You press on all of them, and you unlock Sunny Flight. Alright. This is a timed adventure flying challenge. I don't know if we'll manage, but we can try. Just make our way inside the tunnel here. Inside the luscious green scenery. And we have to also go through here. This is another thing. Free time. Yeah, there's quite a lot of elements in this. Alright, we're gonna run out of time. Yeah, we're not very professional in this mode. It's not our forte, at least. Alright. Okay, we'll give it another shot another time. This, I don't think this stage is specifically necessary, but it is fun. It is fun for a challenge. And I believe we've gotten every single item. I think we've gotten every single gem from each level. So we can go ahead and move on to the next world. I believe this is the next world. No, not yet. Alright. Rescue Tomas.
Hey, Spyro, press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks, plummeting into prehistoric glaciers.
Oh, that.
So it appears that that Spyro has had some experience with falling into glaciers, possibly even volcanoes, even though he's a dragon. You know, sometimes what you're used to can be scary. Like, even Spyro knows that. That's why when he saw that one older dragon guy, he was kind of scared of him. The one that wanted to tell him a story. But, you know, Spyro's been through it all. He's been through glaciers. He's been through volcanoes. Oh my goodness, my neighborhood's just exploding right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But Spyro's had a lot of experience in life. You know, even though he's like a 10-year-old dragon. Holy crap. I don't know if you guys can hear that again, but yeah, my neighborhood's going crazy. But let's go ahead and see. I think this is the last level here. Town Square. Sheesh. Alright. Looks like we got some chickens here. You know, it's really interesting in this world. The chickens turn into butterflies. You know, in actual life, at least from my experience, whenever a chicken has been set on fire, it's been like a nice chicken wing. It's been like a nice little meal to kind of satiate your stomach. The germs in your stomach, you know. Rescued Nils.
Welcome to Town Square, Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the L2 and R2 buttons to get a good look.
Alright, L2 and R2. Huh. Kohai said XD, but without the Disney. And Kohai says, it's a game, let the chickens be butterflies. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose we have to let them, if they want to identify that way. You can't really do much here in 2025, you know? It's all that has to be done. It's just acceptance. And that's how you do that. That's how you do the floating gem that gets activated by the fire. Yes, Kohai says it's 2026 now. That's true. That's true. You know, I haven't heard about that since last year. I haven't heard that it's been 2026 since last year. But now I know, so thank you for that information. And again, I'm sorry guys. I am so sorry that I bumped my head against the wall. I'm not 1 year old, okay? Trust me, I'm not. Alright, we made it. Let's go and free this guy. Rescued Devlin.
Thanks, Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Oh, did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
Wow. So this guy knows all about being high. You know, is that really a good role model for this little young dragon here? Spyro's a young boy. You know, should he be really involved in drug culture? You know, you just have to think, what is this boy surrounded by? First, he doesn't want to hear a story by a nice old dragon who's maybe done some questionable things, and then he has this guy who's been high. So, you just gotta think. Spyro's living the rough life. You know, he's been through glaciers, been through volcanoes. He just, you know, he's even smoking while he's this young. So, the poor child just doesn't have any guidance. Let's see what this guy wants. See what he says.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here? He's a thief, and he's stolen a dragon egg. You've got to track him down and get that egg. Run! Run! I'm getting a little winded.
Spyro, he just has so much responsibility, you know. First, he's gotta rescue all these adults, right? Then he's gotta go ahead and go after thieves that steal baby dragon eggs. You know, like why don't the old guys do it? I just feel for the guy sometimes. I just feel for the kid. He's just a little kid with his little butterfly friend, you know? So I guess that's just the way the world of the dragons goes. It's pretty hardcore. We can't even jump on this fountain. Yeah, I don't think we can jump on this fountain. You know, I tried, I gave it a shot, but it's just not possible. But what we can do is we can go here. We can turn the camera. We'll turn it the other way. And then we can jump on the side here. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get this thief. this guy that's very questionably dressed. I screwed that up. But we shouldn't be mad at Spyro because he's just a young boy. He's just a young man, you know? He's just been in a really harsh environment, so he can make mistakes. Where is this guy? I don't know why those crates that you can break with your head just kind of reminded me of pandas for some reason. And I just drowned, so that's another fact of life. Some people can't actually swim, so we just gotta accept it sometimes. Alright, we got him. Also, I need to update my amount of times I've succumbed to death counter. So that's gonna be 4. 4 deaths. Alright. We got some more chests here. And then we got an Illuminati reference. Or just an upside down snow cone. Who knows? Alright, let's go ahead and free this guy. Thor. Wow, even a Marvel crossover.
Thank you for releasing me.
That really wasn't all hyped up. That wasn't cracked out what it seemed to be. Cracked up what it was all meant to be. However that phrase goes. But I think we have 200 out of 200. So it's safe to say we can go home. All right, 659. At least it's not 679, because we all know what happened with that. All right, so we got some treasure down here, or actually the treasure is on those items right there, those buildings. Then we have some more treasure right there. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. It would be a good idea because, you know, we actually want to get some more money. We want to get some more money. We want to help Spyro. He's an orphan. He really is an orphan. The only family that he has is this dragonfly. Ben Goku is shouting some crocodile, some creature that's ripping his face apart. I'm not sure why he's into gore like that, but we just have to let him be. Ben Goku is just a guy, just some guy that just has some interests of some kind. So let's go ahead and move on. I think we can go ahead and move on to the next world. We have to find an air balloon. Because ironically, Spyro cannot travel to other countries just willy-nilly. There is a airline agency here, but instead of airline, they're just hot air balloon. And yeah, this guy looks like very suspicious. I don't think he would get through TSA, but you never know. Some people can hide things really well. TSA doesn't, I don't think they really check people that often if they're not that suspicious, but if this guy went into the airport line and with a scarf, especially with a pink one, I think he just wouldn't be able to fly. It's just my opinion. Marco the balloonist. He says, "Wow, I see you've been busy rescuing dragons, Spyro. You may travel to the Peacekeepers world if you like." Alright, let's go to Peacekeepers. Ben Goku has an upside down teeth face. Again, redhead. Redhead as all can be. And this time he's actually a square, which is pretty odd. Alright, now we're in the mud world. We're in the world of the mudlands. I love the guys. I love the guys here. Their scream is just very animated. Rescued Titan.
Welcome to Peacekeeper, Spyro. Look how our treasure has been turned against us and stolen. Recover our treasure, Spyro.
Collect treasure. Got it.
All right. Looks like we're doing the right thing according to this big dragon. So it appears Spyro actually respects this dragon, so it might be worth noting what he's saying to us. We're gonna run these guys over. Run over like NASCAR kind of. Just freewheeling it. Going in a circle. Have a bunch of rednecks cheering us on. Drinking a beer. Dried Canyon. Sounds like the Prohibition era. Prohibition era is very strong here. Then we can go in here and just please guys, please watch your eyes. This is going to be very graphic, okay? Please guys, just fair warning, okay? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. We have to zoom in on that. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm so sorry. Don't look, please. Don't look. I'm just showing this for evidence purposes, okay? I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. Ben Goku says that he would like to drink it. That's very strange. He also is very amazed at the idea of the guy shaking his tuchus. Alright, let's blow smoke up his ass. Alright. So the first one we got here is Cliff Town. Cliff Town. Let's go ahead and check it out. Nice, we got 727 treasures. That guy thought he was cool. I mean, I gotta admit his sombrero is pretty cool. It was like an Indiana Jones moment where, you know, that one guy's doing all the sword tricks, then Indiana Jones just shoots him. Well, for us, we just had to charge into him. I'm sure if we let him continue, he probably would have done some nice backflips of some kind. But it's just, you know, we just can't let that go on too long. We don't want him to overexert himself, because the funeral services, they do charge a lot for cleaning up the bodies. So if the guy overexerts himself too much, it might be really costly for the family. You know, his bones might be broken, and we just wanna spare his family of grief and just a bunch of costs for the preparations. So that's part of the reason why we ended up just going through with it and just ramming him. Also, we can these cactuses actually breathe air. They're real life cactuses because they don't want to be dirty, man. They just don't want to be ashy. So they gotta put on some cactus lotion, some desert lotion, some desert oasis niceness, you know, all that good stuff. So, and then we got a Thea right here, who's making some menudo, but we had to interrupt her because she was gonna give us the chancla, you know. I mean, I like menudo more than just like the next guy, but I don't want to get that chancla to the face. So you just gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, it appears that that we're in somewhere in the Spyro universe. This appears to be Mexico. Mexico in the Spyro universe. Just imagine that. Spyro has seen it all. You know, he's seen the cartels. He's seen them put bodies inside of giant crock pots or giant cauldrons. That's what they're called, giant cauldrons. And seen people get burned alive. So it's really sad. It's really sad Spyro's life. He's witnessed all of this stuff in Dragon, Mexico. But I mean, Spyro does know as well as I do that the food here is just really good. So he just can't help but come back here, make a quick pit stop, and if he can save his dragon friends, then he's gonna go for it, you know? Ben Goku has one eye open. It appears that he's falling asleep over here. All right, let's go ahead and save this dragon here. Halvor.
How's a dragon supposed to flame metal armor anyway?
Remember, Spyro, flame won't harm metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
Ben Goku says new Wordle is Spyro. Really? That's really coincidental. You know, I had no idea that the New York Times was orchestrating my my live stream. I actually didn't know that I was sponsored by them. So this is all news to me. You know, I should be getting a really beefy paycheck in the mail sometime. But yeah, man, that's really cool. Thank you for the news. I thought I would get it from them, but it appears that Ben Goku is the latest scoop here. He's better than the reporters in New York of Spider-Man 3. Alright, looks like her menu though wasn't ready, so no gems came out of it. At least I don't think. But we'll just go ahead and move on to this next Thea here. She just slapped me. You know, I'm really glad that I was able to get back a little bit before she pulled out the dreaded chancla. Or, you know, she didn't even use the spoon, so that's actually a big relief to me. And I'm sure Spyro's dealt with that too. You know, Spyro could be part Mexican. You know, we've never heard of dragons not having a race, you know? Spyro could be one Mexican dragon and we just don't know it. Alright, let's go ahead and see what this Thea was cooking up. Alright, looks like she had a red one. I mean, that's pretty predictable, not gonna lie. Because, you know, red to a lot of people actually means spicy. So it makes sense to me, you know? Alright, let's go ahead and go up here, see what else is here. Alright, we got some more Theas. This Thea was a little bit too aggressive. Means that she has a really good recipe. So we should have asked her. We should have asked her before we actually got rid of her, but it's okay. It's alright. Wow, Ezio.
Hey, what's on the other side of that river?
Why don't you glide there and find out?
He's really let himself go. So yeah, we can actually go to that other area. I think that's the Middle East. So we're in Mexico, and then that's just how the world works. It's just, you know, it's either the Middle East or Mexico. Or that could be Texas. You never know. So let's go ahead and fly over there, see what all the hubbub is about. I think we should be able to do it from here, but I cannot confirm that. So let's go ahead and confirm it now. Actually, before we do that, before we go on a whole adventure let's get these gems over here. This firework here, I think, is gonna blow up that ceramic chest up there. Yep. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and collect our belongings, and then we'll go ahead and go past TSA. Oh, I did a misstep there. Yeah, Spyro, you know, he's just a young boy. He can make some mistakes, so we gotta cut him a little bit of slack. Alright. Let's go ahead and go over here. That's the wrong way. Let's go a little bit higher. Go a little bit higher before we end up leaving. Alright. Let's go ahead and actually try it from here. And we did miss some gems back there, but that's alright. We can always come back. We can always check it out again. And I had no idea that Spyro and Jurassic World did some kind of collaboration. I guess just in time for the Jurassic Park film by Steven Spielberg. You know, Steven Spielberg was always an innovator. He did DreamWorks. DreamWorks did Medal of Honor on the PlayStation 1 around the same time. So it could be that these two giants of the 90s did some sort of collaboration together. The world may never know, but the world doesn't know about the licks to a Tootsie Pop either. So there's a lot of unsolved mysteries in this life. Alright, let's go ahead and see what this dragon wants here. Marco.
You've reached the highest point in Clifftown. You can get to almost anywhere from here. If I were you, I'd use that whirlwind there.
The whirlwind. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a new slang for drugs or of some kind, because we do know the history of Spyro's role models. You know, they're not the greatest, they're not the best, but we just have to give it a try. You know, there's no harm in trying, but there actually is harm because it depends on what it is. So there's this whirlwind. That's what he's talking about. Alright. Let's go ahead and go up there and fly to those striped treasure chests there. Alright, that was terrible. That was actually really bad. Alright, that was also really bad. We gotta go to a really high place. Kind of make this guy a little bit proud. You know, he was kind of talking about going to a high place, so Spyro, we gotta just light it up a little bit. Just do a few puffs. And let's go ahead and give it another shot. Alright. We got it. You know, I think Spyro might actually have been meant for this life. It's very possible. Because he's just been around so much. You know, his skin is all wrinkly and all scaly. He doesn't really take care of himself that well. You know, he could do some lotioning, but it's like the cactuses, but it is what it is. He's just gotta live with what he's got. Alright, let's take these guys out. We're not gonna take them out on a date. We're just gonna take them out and hit them from the back. That's all. Alright, this guy gave us a dragon life. It's pretty sinister. This guy's a soul stealer. He has some soul gems. Alright, let's see what this guy wants.
Hi, Spyro. Sparks the Dragonfly has been doing a good job protecting you. Make sure to keep him strong by feeding him lots of butterflies.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these dragon influencers talk about the butterfly technique. I don't know that Spyro's really succumbed to the butterfly technique just based off of his past Google history. But who knows, he might give it a shot with more people suggesting it, you know, just out of peer pressure. But yeah, he's just gotta stay careful. He's just gotta stay vigilant to all the fads and all the trends of the world. Because sometimes people think it's the real thing. It's like legit. That's what's popping, but it's actually not. All right, let's go ahead and use this cannon. Let's go ahead and shoot this thing over here. Then we can turn it a little bit. Turn it back a little bit, actually. I think it had auto aim. Auto aim was enabled. You know, you gotta give credit to the gem makers. The gem makers really put a lot of time into crafting the little curves, the little edges of the gems. Because that's how you know they're real. You know, a lot of gems don't shine like that. Plastic gems don't really shine like that. But these ones, just in natural, balanced sunlight, end up shining really nicely. Even when we hit it out of the chest, you get that immediate Pantene like shine. And then we got a Theo that's on crack. And he just dies by himself. Pretty odd. You just run right off the mountain there. Oh. She's pissed. Even bumped into her. What are the odds? You know, first it was Walls, then it was Thea's. Sometimes that's the way the world works in this Spyro the Dragon. Alright, so we got a chest. But we still got a Thea over here to deal with. We got a key, I'm sorry, we got a key. Probably fly over here. We probably just need to give a few puffs. Alright, now we can go. Let's see if this works. No, it didn't work. We probably needed a few more. We might have needed to try the butterfly technique. Or even just go high, like that one guy was saying. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Kohai says Thea's like ant. Yes. Yes, Thea's like ant. That's correct. Oh. She really told me off. Alright, so the amount of times we've succumbed to death is 5. 5 times we've succumbed to death. Alright. Let's go ahead and go up here. Let's go ahead and get that one Thea that's kind of hard to get to. Oh, crap. That was kind of embarrassing. Then she just slapped me on my ass. Alright, we got her. Perfect. Alright, and that's a boss that we're going to deal with. He does look like a mad scientist, but that's just his style. Alright, that was another one. She was holding a lot of things in. She had 10. And let's go here. Alright, we got an ice cream popsicle of a dragon, Trondo.
This guy thinks he's so cool. You don't know what it's been like listening to him over and over. But I'll tell you one thing. He should watch his back.
Looks like there's some street beef. Some street beef in Mexico, which is not uncommon. It does happen among the locals, you know? Some street beef. Alright, we got him. Just gotta let him jump around. He got me. He got me again. Alright. Yeah, we just have to time it. When we see his ass, we gotta shoot him in the ass. Trying to juke him a little bit. Alright, we got him. Pretty easy. Not bad. Alright, I think we can return home. We'll probably revisit this stage later, another time. Dr. Shemp. Dr. Shemp. Alright. Let's go ahead and see over here. So all these guys do tend to respawn. They do tend to come back. This was like pre-Black Ops zombies. So they're not going to come back as gory, evil figures. But they're just going to come back as themselves. Yeah, the devs hadn't thought about Black Ops zombies until like 2010. I think 2010, yes. You know, it wasn't the same devs as Spyro, but still, nonetheless, devs. Devs hadn't thought about Black Ops zombies until that time. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see how we can get to the other side. I don't remember this area too well. It's been a long time since I drove through here. We might just have to risk it and just take a little bit of damage. Let's see. Okay, so there's over here. Maybe there's some sort of contraption that we have to shoot using the cannon. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's see. Let's see if we have to use these man-made weapons of destruction. Oh yes, we do. Alright, so there is actually a target on the rock. I'm not sure who left that there, but it's really convenient that they did. Alright, there we go. And then we got some other stuff over here. I think that's another level. Yes. Alright, let's go ahead and do that level. Night Flight. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is another challenge level. So we can go ahead and try it once, but we're not gonna try to get the best score. So let's see. Night Flight. Yes, this is a challenge one. Yeah, also the music in this game is very, very good. The person that did the music for this game actually did the music for a show called Dead Like Me. And they actually did the music for the band Police. I think he was a bassist or a drummer. Stuart Copeland. He has some really iconic discography. Really great musician. The show Dead Like Me is also a great show, which I recommend that anyone check out. Because as soon as you hear that theme song, you're gonna think, oh man, this has to be the guy that did Spyro. This has to be. He just has such an iconic melodical sense of music that is just so him. So, yeah, shout out to Stuart Copeland for the Spyro soundtrack, because it is absolutely legendary. He did a phenomenal job with it. Alright, that was easy. Let's go ahead and check out what this guy wants to say. Rescued Gunner.
Well done, Spyro. Keep up the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your destiny.
Destiny? I just want to kick some...
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure.
That's definitely the voice of Neo Cortex, which is also the voice of Mr. Krabs. If you guys didn't know. Oh, that was bad. That was pretty bad. I'm gonna die, possibly. Let's go ahead and get some butterflies. Samurai says, I'm finally home, my friends. I got the popcorn. Nice, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Alright, let's go ahead and go through to this world. We had failed the first time, but it's alright. You can try again. Until you die, that is. So we don't want to do that. Because then we'll stop trying. So we need a key, which is what we have. Alright. Now let's go ahead and fly back. Take some damage, that's fine. Spyro can recover on the butterfly diet. That's what all the dragon influencers are doing these days, but you know, even though it's a trend, it appears that the trend is real. You know, it's not just a fad. Let's see. Samurai says, genuinely love the graphics. Dunno, but Spyro looking pretty good for a PS1 game. Wow. Yeah, Spyro looks really incredible for a PS1 game. The developers, they possibly did like some really crazy stuff to get it looking like this. You know, you have to wonder who sold their soul in like the dev team for it to look this good in 1998, but all we can do is just enjoy. Alright, we can go to the Magic Crafters world now. Let's go. And Samurai is giving tears of joy. Wow. I think he's discovered just something really great. Samurai says, especially Spyro himself. Yes. Yeah, Spyro it does appear that he's had a hard life. You know, he doesn't have the best skin, as I've said before, but look at him. You know, he tries to clean himself, tries to shower himself. You know, his skin might be a little ashy, but he does what he can. You know, he is a fire-breathing dragon, so he does have a skin condition sometimes, so it's just what he's got to live with. But he does look quite handsome in a way. You know, he looks handsome to some people, I'm sure. I'm sure if they're into that, but... Samurai says that boy needs some lotion. Yeah, he probably does. He probably does. But we just don't know if in this dragon world, if they've come up with the formula to lotion. So we'll just have to wait till maybe they come out with some lore to describe that.
Welcome
Rescued
to Magic
Cosmos.
Crafters. I want you to release the dragons, reclaim our treasure, and recover the eggs from those pesky blue thieves.
So all the old people are really concerned for the blue guys and the hijabs, for stealing the eggs from them. Yeah, it's really depressing. There's some terrorism that's happening in the Spyro world. It's really odd. You know, some things kind of translate from real life to, or from Spyro Land to real life, you know? Samurai says he's handsome to me. Yes, he does have a nice lock of mohawk hair on him, I will say. This guy thinks he's hot shit, but just if he got fire under his ass, he probably wouldn't be laughing, you know? He would probably be crying. Probably be crying. Alright, let's go to Alpine Ridge. Wow, we even got the prediction of Appa from Avatar. This could be like his long-lost family of some kind. You know, I think these guys are airbenders. Because if you look, this guy's kind of airbending or earthbending. So they have Appa creatures. They're earthbending. You know, you gotta think that the Spyro world is connected to Avatar somehow. Samurai says yip yip. Yeah, it's very possible that translates over. I don't think we have the DLC for Spyro to say that command, but maybe they'll add it in a future update. I'm not too sure. But given that it's been almost 30 years since this game came out, there's very little chance of it releasing anytime soon. But one can stay hopeful. It's just at a certain point it becomes insanity, you know? Alright. Rescued Zane.
Spyro, you're not afraid of those big, noisy, gigantic, awful beasts, are you?
Of course not.
I didn't think so.
Very to the point. You know, when he talks to someone to the point, when someone talks to you to the point, it means that they trust you in a way. You know, they're not really sugarcoating it. They're just really direct. Either they trust you or they don't care about you. So it's either two extremes, you know? They don't have to give you so much detail, or they don't give you enough detail where you don't know anything. And I just died. I actually just succumbed to death for my 6th time. So we just gotta live with that. Samurai says 30 years. The next patch is looking promising. Yeah, it really is a shame that you know, they could make a patch, but they also didn't think like, hey, you know, what if we want to make a patch 30 years later? We should probably tell Sony to make like internet for the PS1. So they forgot about that. They forgot about that to put it on the PS1. Wow, this guy was kind of an asshole. I gotta say, he killed me. All right, we just gotta time it. And now. All right, we got him. Samurai says, gives the necessary information without the details, basically. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's essentially what someone does. It's like two sides of a coin. You know, they either trust you or they don't trust you. Either you know, if you know about it, or have heard about it, and they just give you the bare bones details, they're sending you out on a mission, basically. Alright, let's go ahead and see what this frozen dragon wants. You know, if he were a slushie, what flavor would he be? Like, I don't think I've ever seen a slushie flavor this color. It's like a really tealish green color. I think maybe they haven't done it because it just seems really unappealing. You know, it kind of reminds me of, like, if they had a slushie, it would probably be like, I don't know, it'd remind people of Bio Broly. Kind of like just sludge. So, you know, let's go and let's see what this guy wants.
Oh, thank you for releasing me.
Alright, that was very blunt, to the point. I guess he trusts us. You know, and I really wonder about the hairstylists. The hairstylists in this world, like, how do they make their living? How do they get their clientele? Does their clientele need to wear metal armor? Do they need to have a staff? Do they need to say ow when they get hurt, like very specifically? I'm really not sure how this dynamic works. You know, if they go in a classist, if they're in a classist type of society, or if it's like a capitalist, or if it's like a communistic type of society, I'm really not sure. I'm really curious about the minimum wage of the hairstylist here, because I mean, that lady that we just ran into, her hair was like, you know, like spaghetti just come out of a pot of water, a hot pot of water. So you gotta think they really don't pay them that much. Like this guy kind of looks like he just got out of bed. Like, and then this lady, she also kind of looks like a cornfield type of hairstyle. I guess maybe they don't even have hairstylists. But you gotta also think about the little appas. Who combs their hair? It really makes you wonder. You gotta think, like, what's the quality of life in this world? What's the quality of life in the Spyro land? It's not even Dragon Tales, but, you know, there's no humans, so we can't even think, like, there's some sort of link or connection between them. Rescued
Great
Xander.
work, Spyro. If you keep this up, you'll learn all the tricks of the Magic Crafter world.
Magic Crafter World. Alright, let's go ahead and leave this town. But before we do, let's actually get those little gems over there. Let's go. Oh, okay, crap. That's not good. That was bad. That was bad. Alright, let's just get out of here. We don't want to hurt the poor boy any more than he needs to. We almost have 2,000 treasures. Alright. Let's see what other levels there are here. We got 2 for 1 with that. Let's see if we can get this guy. Alright, we got him. I wonder if I told this guy a joke and I just don't remember, because he seems to be just cracking up. So let's just teach him a lesson. Not to laugh at something when there's not even a joke behind it. We got this guy. That was... Oh, wow. We didn't even have to use that much speed to get that guy. That's cool. Something's fishy. Alright, I think we have to go up here.
When you see arrows like these, you can charge along with them to begin a supercharge.
Supercharge? Excellent.
Go ahead, try it.
Alright. Looks like it's lithium battery time. Let's go ahead and do a supercharge. Energizer. Alright, let's see what this guy wants.
This
Boldar.
portal leads to a special place where you can learn to fly. I remember when I was a young dragon, earning my wings.
Learn to fly. Got it.
Interesting, yeah. So I think he's talking about the challenge map. The challenge maps that basically teach you how to fly, challenge you into getting treasures, exploding trains, actually committing crimes. Depends on the country, of course, but yeah, I think in general, just destroying the lives of people on a train is not very conducive to a healthy society. But, you know, we'll let it slide. This could be a different culture. Samurai says excellent. He says excellent with glasses on, meaning that he fully understands what he's saying. Alright, let's get this gem. Hell yeah. This guy is made of ice, so he's really sensitive to the fire. I'm just guessing. This guy's lightning, sensitive to pointy stuff. Alright, these guys got clubs. They're club owners. Very well off, actually. You know, owning a club is a big deal. It's a big deal these days. It takes a lot of management, a lot of care, a lot of keeping up with. Alright, let's see what this guy wants. Jarvis.
Welcome to Wizard Peaks. This is my favorite supercharge spot. Use it to bash those wizards.
30 dragons. That's pretty damn good. Save 30 old guys. Let's see what's here. I think that's where we came from. Alright, we got these guys. These old Illuminati guys. Alright, we got a bunch of gems there too. So we gotta jump, we gotta run and jump to get to there. And I think we just passed away. Alright. let's see what's over here. Let's go ahead and fly. That was a mistake. Alright, let's try it again. Yeah, we didn't check out what was over here. Samurai says, that was a mistake indeed. Yes. Yes, I didn't intend to just die like that, so... That one, I kind of turned it into being intentional, because I flew for a little bit, just to get a nice breeze, but, you know, it ended up costing me my life, so... That's me succumbing to death for the 11th time. Yeah, I believe I do need more speed, somehow. Let's see over here. Or I might need to enter from a different path. A different way. Alright. Just taking out some big old fat white guys. Pretty easy. Rescued Hexus.
Thank you for releasing me.
Alright. Very quick, very short, to the point. He's a tall guy, so it's kind of ironic. Oh, we got an egg stealer over here. This guy loves eggs. Wow, I just double died. It's because I jumped and I was running. I crashed into the wall, unfortunately. I don't understand how that happened, but I let it happen. I was just holding the button. I was holding the button, that's what happened. So I do know how it happened. I was just making a drama. Ben Goku says death counter. Yes, death counter. What makes you speak of the death counter, Mr. Ben Goku? You know, in this life here, in this world, it's actually amount of times I have succumbed to death. So that's actually what it is today. So in a sense, it is a counter for that, but we're a little bit more specific because succumb is like you had no way but to give in to the pressure of dying. So that's what we're here for. It's just, you know, that's what that counter is here for.
Listen carefully, Spyro. There's a secret area in the artisan home. It is at the waterfall. Try jumping on the stones there.
Samurai says Lud Loki had Venom behind that Mr. Ben Goku? Venom, you say? I don't understand. I don't understand the Venom aspect. You know, I understand that Sony did create the PlayStation console, but I believe Venom, I think Venom is still part of the IP, because Venom is part of the Spider-Man IP. So I don't personally have Venom. I do believe Sony has acquisition of that property. So I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about that, my friend. All right, let's go to this guy. He's, you know, he's very secretive. He's very blue. It's like that one Eiffel 65 song, I'm Blue. You know, he's blue, labba-dee, labba-da, labba-dee, labba-da, labba-dee, labba-da. Yeah, I'm not sure why this guy is blue, but he matches the water. That's something, and the water does end up killing me. So they could be best friends. You know, I just wish that there were some butterflies around here. There's not really any butterflies. Maybe there is over here. Only gems. Okay. That's a new service. Alright, and we passed away. Alright, so let's see. Can we see how many gems we have? Okay, with select. We have 304 out of 500. We did get 3 out of 3 dragons. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and return home. Alright, Wizard Peak. Let's see. Let's see what we're dealing with here. So we actually only have 3 stages. Wow. All right. You know, this is actually going quite fast. Okay. Hop aboard the Beast Maker's world if you are ready. Let's go. It got very quiet for a moment. You know, I don't know if I was the only one that recognized that, but my audible senses were just kind of whispering to me that there's like nothing, there's no audio. It was just really like, I can't even say how it was. That's how quiet it was. I guess it's just a moment of reflection to kind of see where Spyro's going, to kind of admire the craftsmanship of the balloons, I guess. You know, maybe these guys really liked the who are they called? The brothers that did the aircraft. Maybe we're just supposed to admire them. Ben Goku says a lack of noise. Yes, indeed. Samurai says it was a small, awkward moment of dead silence. Yes, it was. Yes, I think the devs might have put that in just as kind of like a shock value. You know, like their own little jump scare for the game, because there's dragons and there's silence.
Master Nork is turning our swamp into an electrified junk heap, and it used to be so beautiful.
I'm sure it was.
Man, the voice actor for Cortex, he really does. He does a lot of voices, or at least tries to. But you can really tell who he is. It's kind of funny. I never noticed that when I was a kid, to be honest. Ben Goku says a small moment to reflect. Yes, that's true. They really did think about everything. You know, like this one, there's this one show that I had watched before. It actually gave me a fact. It told me that you're never too young to have a Vietnam flashback. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that before, but it's something that I've quoted, and it is true. It is real. So, I mean, it could be a moment just to reflect on, like, the past wars, the past crimes by governments, the past things that have happened in the Spyro world? Possibly. I mean, who knows? It could be many things. It could be many things. Let's go ahead and eat the butterfly. I think that just gave us sparks. Samurai says the trees are speaking to me. I'm curious why the trees would be speaking to you. Like what's their motive? I would like to know why they would be speaking, you know, like what's their story? What part of the world do they grew up in? How long have they been living? It's a really interesting notion. Alright. So we do have no stages unlocked here. We're at 30% completion of the game, which is pretty fast. I mean, it is a PlayStation 1 game. Oh, Samurai says, I don't know, they're speaking Vietnamese. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Van Goku says run. He's experienced it before. So you should follow his advice. Alright. This is Misty Bog. Okay. Alright, my friends, I'm going to pause this really quick. I'm actually going to take a short bathroom break. If you guys need to go pee-pee as well, please do. But please stay tuned. Also, in the comments, in the live chat, if you could tell me what is your favorite flavor of ice cream, and then just go ahead and just kind of debate about it a little bit. I want to hear some good arguments. I want to hear about maybe some government conspiracies as to why chocolate might be better than vanilla, or a strawberry mix might be better with chocolate, like strawberry and chocolate together might be better than vanilla. So if you guys could just kind of debate a little bit about the flavors of ice cream while I go actually do a real stream in the toilet, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll be right back, guys, okay? Alright, my friends, I have returned. I have returned from my stream back to another. Okay, Ben Goku, let's see what you guys are saying. Samurai says, my sensitive teeth will not let me enjoy ice cream. Ben Goku says, cookies and cream is the best flavor. Samurai says, cookies and cream is fire, though. So it looks like there's a lot of agreement here. Ben Goku says, vanilla ice cream is good on berry pie. Berry pie. That's actually a really solid combination. That's really smart. Samurai says, ooh, love a good root beer float. You know, you guys actually have a lot of solid suggestions. I thought there was going to be a lot of discourse with ice cream choices, but no, you guys actually have some solid flavors. You know, I've heard people say that they love strawberry, or not, I'm sorry, not strawberry, they love orange sherbet, but I could just never get on that train of orange sherbet. To me, it just always felt too tangy, too like, didn't feel like an ice cream. It didn't feel nice, soft, and luscious, like creamy, like an ice cream does. You know, I'm not trying to have like a sour candy when I'm having ice cream. I'm trying to have something that's flavorful, that's sweet. I don't know, what do you guys think? You guys think that I'm crazy for thinking that? Oh shit. I've succumbed to death once again. Alright. Well, that's the life here. That's the life here of Spyro. It's okay. Alright, what's over here? You know, it's really oddly strange that they did burn off this area here. You know, you have to think there are some tree stumps in the forest that are burned off. Like they purposefully burn trees to prevent forest fires. So do you think that in this level here, they actually did this to prevent a forest fire of some kind? You know, did there used to be a lot of trees? Do they have their own Smokey Bear in this world? I'm not sure. It is a possibility, but we just won't know for sure. Wow, this guy ate me. Yeah, I think maybe what they were the message they were trying to send with this is, kids, eat your vegetables, otherwise your vegetables will eat you. I think that's what they were trying to send here. They were trying to get at. So they were trying to make kids really...
Look out for attack frogs. They are cold-blooded killers.
Attack frogs?
And this used to be
Attack
such a
frogs.
nice swamp.
I don't know if he made a Shrek reference there talking about a swamp, but yeah, this game is making a lot of Simpsons level predictions. Let's see if we can find some more butterflies. I believe there was one behind us in the back over there, but let's go ahead and collect these red gems because we do like spicy food. So we gotta go with the heat. We gotta get the heat. Ah. Alright, we can't charge these guys. Let me just check something here with my streaming service really quickly. Okay. Alright, I see. So I'm sorry guys, my chat wasn't loading for me for some reason. So I'm just now seeing all of your messages. Yeah, the last one that I read was Samurai saying, "Ooh, love a good root beer float." And then Kohai says, "Cookies and cream is good unless you hand me a chocolate ice cream with brownies and fudge, then it's over." Ben Goku says, "Chocolate ice cream is disgusting." Oh my goodness. So it actually does look like we had some sort of fight here. Like there was some heat engager activated. Okay. And then Samurai says, "I love brownies." Kohai says, "No root beer for me.
Thank you for releasing me.
But a Dr. Pepper float sounds fire." And Kohai says, "You're disgusting, Ben." Damn, looks like we got a little bit of a tussle here. I don't know why YouTube hid this from me. And looks like I died. I died here. But yeah, YouTube was trying to hide the drama. I don't understand why they would do that to such a valiant channel like ours here. But they did do it. So Samurai says, "Creamies. The orange, banana, and strawberry is fire." Ben Goku says, "Chocolate is fire. Is fine, but chocolate ice cream I don't like." Wow. Wow, that's very, very interesting. That's quite a conundrum. It's quite a conundrum. You know, it's like the way that Ben Goku is saying it is like saying I like hugs, but I don't like people. It's kind of like what he's saying. Or I like people, but I don't like hugs. I think that's the way it is. Yeah, because he's saying he likes chocolate, but not chocolate ice cream. So it really is a weird conundrum when you think about it. And then Kohai says you haven't had a good chocolate ice cream. And Kohai says that's because it's just blended orange, Luddy. Samurai says the only chocolate ice cream I decently like is the sandwich one. The mix of strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate is pretty good. Yes, ice cream sandwiches, I gotta say. That is a solid pick. That's a very solid pick. You know, if I were to make a tier list of ice cream, I would probably put ice cream sandwiches in A tier or S tier, just because they're really delectable little things. I really like them. And then Ben Goku gave a redhead face. Samurai says Sundays are pretty good too. Ben Goku says, when I was a kid, I hated chocolate, but I started liking it more the past few years, except dark chocolate. Kohai says, there are different percentages of chocolate. The higher percentage, the more bitter. Yes, that is true. That is very true. Samurai says, don't say I haven't tried a good chocolate either. Every single one I tried was terrible. Then Kohai says the percentage you're getting is probably too high if you're used to milk chocolate. Looks like the secrets are coming out. Looks like why some people don't like dark chocolate is because they're just too powerful. The cocoa, the chocolatiness is just too much. So let's see the later messages. Let's see what you guys are saying. So Samurai says, it's always when you're done with it. Ben Goku says, yeah, the aftertaste. Kohai says, Luddy, you sound silly. I don't know if I have a pitch filter on me, but I guess I sound silly somehow. Samurai says, definitely ice cream sandwiches are great. Yes, ice cream sandwiches are incredible.
I'll tell you what to do with those creatures. Smash them, Spyro! Stamp them out and squish them and squash them!
How about charge them and flame them? We are dragons after all.
Alright. Alright, let's see how many dragons we collected in this world. 3 out of 4. Alright, I think that's good enough for me. We've completed enough of the world to be returning home, I think. You know, the last guy probably would have told us thanks. He probably would have just given us like a one-word thank you. So, you know, in that case, you don't really feel that bad. Because it's like, we just saved the guy's life, and he's just gonna be like, thanks? You know, if my life was saved, I think I would be frozen long enough to write some sort of essay to kind of thank my savior, you know? Like, if I'm still alive, frozen inside of that bio-broly frost, I would think of something like, hey, my hero, thank you for saving me. Thank you for releasing me. Thank you for going, oh shit. I need to update my death counter, my friends. That was really unexpected. I was in the middle of my explanation for my hero, and a villain just came to a Pumbaa just came out of nowhere to headbutt me. Samurai says, "Thank you, Pumbaa," as if my explanation was causing harm to the viewers. Is my explanation causing harm to you? I'm not sure if we've gone here before. I guess we'll have to find out. Alright, we have not been here. And just so you guys know, are aware, I am having a bit of a sip. Something of a sip. So, yeah, that's just a celebratory sip for the new year. You know, for good things to come. Good things to come of this channel. Good things to come of our community. Ben Goku says water. Samurai says, so cheers. Yes, absolutely. Cheers, my friend. Samurai says, give me a second, grabbing a can of my own. Matter of fact, I'm gonna open up another can. So please bear with me, my fine audience. Please bear with me. Sorry if that was super loud. I know it probably clipped the mic there. Cheers, guys. Cheers. To success, to new opportunities, to spending some time together, to having good days. Cheers, guys. Yeah, also, Samurai says, cheers, and Ben Goku says, water. Samurai says, bet. Kohai says, cheers with a cookie. Samurai says, cheers, mate. Ben Goku says, one kind of cookie. Samurai says, to good New Year's and future streams. Yes, sir. Kohai says, chocolate chip cookie. By the way, Samurai, about our Tekken 8 bout, I'm sorry that I couldn't get to it today for us to play some Tekken 8, but I'm totally down to play some Tekken 8 tomorrow, if you're down. And also Ben Goku, I don't know if you're down. We can make a whole lobby if you guys want, and we can do a little bit of Tekken 8. It would probably have to be later in the nighttime, though. Ben Goku says I'm down. Samurai says you're good. I'd be hella down for some matches. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, I don't know what your time zone is, but let's see. Let's see. Let's say like I don't know if you guys can do 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys can do 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that would be cool. I hope that's not too late for you guys. I need to update my death counter as well. Samurai says, hopefully my Wi-Fi is decent enough. Ben Goku says, I want to bake some cookies. Some oatmeal. Oatmeal. Nice. Samurai says, real quick, what time is it for you right now? I do not know Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time is next to Utah. Well, I think it actually is Utah. Like, because I do remember you saying Utah. And I'm speaking of California Pacific Standard Time. Kohai says, I want to do oatmeal cream pies. Yes, the Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies are so good. They're really good. Really delicious. I remember in middle school I would always have those. They were really good. Ben Goku says 2:36 a.m. I'm gonna look that up. Ben Goku says, oh, I never made them. I just know them from the store-bought boxes. Yeah, I do too. Same here. Same here. Samurai says mountain region for me. It's 1:37. Oh, I see. Kohai says PST is 1 hour behind mountain time. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, mountain time doesn't actually change time zones, from what I know. Or I'm sorry, daylight savings. Mountain time is consistent throughout the year, which is cool.
Really stings.
That's actually super cool. You know, I kind of wish that a lot of the US would just adapt to that, but then again, the sun doesn't come out at the same time everywhere, so it does make sense why they gotta do that, why they gotta do different time zones. Oh shit. Alright. So we got a really good variety of gems here. Blaine says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. Hope your day went well. Hope you had a good time. And I just passed away. I just passed away as you entered. So you say blame my parents, I say blame my parents. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Samurai says, "I'll BRB." All right. Blame says, "Yeah, man, same to you." All right, let's see what this guy wants. Cyprin.
Good job, Spyro. One day you'll be able to tell all the dragons about your amazing adventures.
Sure, but what I'd really like to do is get out of this swamp.
Man, everyone wants to get out of the swamp. But just imagine if Shrek was here. I mean, I don't think he'd be complaining. It's just these dragon types, you know? These dragon types are really sensitive to muddy, mystical, just fungi-riddled places, I guess. You know, with Spyro having such ashy skin, it really does surprise me that he doesn't want the moisture. I don't understand. He does have a complexion, so I think he should embrace, like, the mustiness of it, the humidity. I think it would help him. You know, it's why a lot of older folks move to places like Florida, because it doesn't hurt their bones. You know, they feel comfort in the warmth and the heat, in feeling like they've taken a shower every single day they step outside. Alright, we got some red spicy gems. The ones that were, these same gems, these red ones, we actually saw them in the Mexico of Spyro. So it could be that they just transferred over, you know, kind of like a bank account. Like we're just seeing some of the same stuff move over. You know, kind of like, you know, I'm gonna give like a vulgar description here, but like how in Breaking Bad, how they transferred over the blue stuff. You know, they transferred the blue stuff over to many different places. It could be how it happened here in Spyro. You never know. You can never know, but you can always just guess and make a theory. Alright, let's go ahead and do a little spin here with the magic dust. And then we'll go ahead and get these gems as well. Nice, we got a 10. Yellow gems are 10. That's great. Alright. And this is to return home. Let's go ahead and return home. Blame says, or is it all a dream? Yeah, used to read Word Up magazine. Yeah, I've heard that a historical quote said before. Yeah, it was this one fat guy that said it. But you know, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Terrace Village. Alright, we just came from there. Let me go ahead and see what we've completed thus far. So we have home. We're missing one dragon. Let's go ahead and find the last one. Alright, that's a life. We still got a lot of cotton balls next to our life. Yeah. Alright, we have this guy. Cletus.
Spyro, it's great to see you, but I've got to go.
I wonder why that man had to leave. You know, it makes, well actually he's not a man, he's a dragon. Samurai says, by the way, regarding Tekken 8 runs tomorrow, I'm mainly gonna test my Wi-Fi because last time I ran it, it was pretty bad. Depending on how our first match feels, we'll decide if I fight or spectate the rest. Alright, man. Fair enough, fair enough. Ben Goku says Cletus. Yeah, that dragon's name was Cletus. He said he had somewhere to be, but I don't know if I believe him. You know, his name's Cletus. You have to almost assume that he has some kind of cow, or he has some type of farm animal as a pet in his household. So it couldn't have been that he needed to be at a dentist appointment. You know, he definitely didn't have a doctor's appointment. He actually looked very healthy, very tall, with a lot of muscle. So I'm really not sure. Maybe he had like some type of hot date. Or maybe he had a midlife crisis where he has to go to the Harley Davidson dealership to try and get his motorcycle. Maybe that's what it was. Blame says, nah, he chunky? You think he was that chunky? I mean, I know that some people tend to call those chunky guys absolute units sometimes, but maybe they're not truthful. Blame says like a little marshmallow. It's true. I don't think he was very little though. He seemed like a rather large fella. I mean, the guy has 2 E's in his name, and the E's are like right next to each other. So he does mean business, you know? You don't got anyone with 2 E's right next to each other in their name not meaning any business. Like Frida with 2 E's or decent. Blame says, you right, my B. I'm sure he means my bad, but yeah, I think guys with that name, like their parents just kind of knew straight up that they were gonna run things. So, but I don't know. I still can't believe that he had somewhere to be. It's just kind of odd to me. Let's go ahead and get a butterfly back. Nice. Metalhead. Alright, so I think this is the last stage for this world. Still trapped in crystal. Maybe you rescue 50 dragons. Alright. So let's see where we're at. 39. Oh, wow. Wow, so we still have quite a few dragons. Samurai says, went back to see the dragon. He seemed pretty well for a dragon. I don't think I consider that chunky either. Yeah, he seemed kind of beefy. Not gonna lie. I mean, it is kind of weird for me to say that he's beefy when cows don't even exist in this world. So it's just like a human terminology thing that I'm using, which is kind of, you know, I'm kind of using words that don't make sense to dragons. But he did seem pretty beefy to me. Wow, these guys are throwing bananas at me. That's a whole new thing. Blame says, why are you using logic in my funny dragon game? I don't know, man. It's just something to think about, you know? Sometimes you just gotta think about things. And I had no idea that you were one of the developers for this game. I'm really sorry. You know, earlier we were talking about whether you guys were gonna come out with some sort of patch or some sort of DLC to add the yip yip command for Spyro. so he could go ahead and tell the Appas in that one level to go ahead and fly away. Because, I mean, I know it's been 30 years, over 30 years almost. I know that Sony didn't introduce internet to the PlayStation, but I think in this day and age, you could probably use an AI language and just have it do everything for you, you know? I think it would be pretty simple, especially with this level of hardware, to implement some kind of patch. So that way we could just get everything going, you know? We could introduce microtransactions, we could introduce skins, we could introduce collaborations. I think it would be a big money maker, you know, for this game. Especially since I'm pretty sure it sold over 1 million copies. So that means that over 1 million people have played this game. Probably have still a copy to this day, you know? So I don't know what you're thinking, but let's talk about business, man. Let's see what can happen. Blame said the guys at Sony said no. They didn't trust me enough. Oh man. You know, I really do hate when that happens. It's just really Japanese businessmen. They're really rough on the edges. That's what I've heard.
This big robot is all charged up to meet you. Attacking the power pole should disrupt its power supply.
Samurai says, wait a second. Did you stream Sniper Elite, then started Spyro right after? How was Sniper Elite? Sniper Elite was good. You know, I did enjoy it, but I did take up a rather large task because I was planning to do Spyro for a New Year's stream, but I ended up I did feel like taking on a stealth game, which takes quite a long time, right before I plan to do a game for like very soon, was probably a bad idea. But other than that, dude, no, Sniper Elite is a fun game. Really great game. Yeah, I would love to get the original someday. Sniper Elite 1. I think that game came out in 2005. I don't remember what console though. But yeah, I've never played it before. I would love to. I don't remember how this boss works, but we're trying to wing it. Literally wing it, guys. Okay. Holy shit. That's a big boy. Samurai says makes sense. Oh. Yeah, Sniper Elite is fun. And I only played 4 and 3. Didn't beat either of them too, but enjoyed them. Yeah, they are pretty long games, but they're fun. They're very fun. They have a lot of collectibles that you gotta think about. Like papers and all sorts of things. Defeating enemies and ranking up. But yeah, great games. Oh, okay, that's what I need to do. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was just thinking, oh, maybe I need to dodge him. Okay, got it. Got it now. It's been a minute since I fought this or played this game at all. Samurai says, yup, now we know. Yes, sir. Oops. I got into the Darth Sidious lightning beam. Force lightning. Alright, nice, we're making progress. Oops. I bumped into there like I'm a 1-year-old again. Yeah, guys, I mean, I used to bump into walls when I was like 1 year old, but it is kind of embarrassing that I'm still doing it, you know? I can promise you guys I am over 1 year old. I'm not, I don't color on walls anymore. I don't poop in my diaper anymore. You know, it's just not that stage in my life right now. So I'm really sorry for doing that. I hope you guys can forgive me, because it was just a mistake right there. Aw, man. I got the hypno ray to the face. Yeah, this guy is a little bit tough, I gotta say. I don't think I actually have to jump when I blow the fire. I keep jumping thinking that I need to reach the little green thing, but I don't think I actually need to. Alright, I see what needs to happen. Alright, so he needs to break them. I think me blowing fire on them doesn't really do anything, if I'm being honest. My fire just isn't that potent. Doesn't have any electrical charge for it to really give any power. All right. Okay. All right, the last one. Oh, crap. Okay, perfect, perfect. We got him. Samurai said, yo, would you by any chance have Sly Cooper? That would be a cool stream too. Yes, I actually do have Sly Cooper. Yeah, I have all 3 on PS2. So yeah, one of these days I do want to do that. That is a good suggestion. Thank you for that. But yeah, man, I have like over 400 PS2 games, most of which I haven't actually played. I have played Sly Cooper 1 though, and that is a really solid game. But yeah, I would love to do that. All right, so how many dragons do we have saved? We have 40. Damn, I think we might need to go back to the beginning stage. Samurai says, easy, sick. Jack and Daxter, yes. Yes, I do have Jack and Daxter 1 through 3. And I also have the Jack X Combat Racing. And I also have, I have Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, I have all the Ratchet and Clank games. Even the ones that were on PSP. that were ported to PS2. So I have, yeah, I have all those. Samurai says Ratchet Deadlock 2. Yes, yes, I do have Ratchet Deadlock. Samurai says I grew up on Deadlock. Nice, nice. Yeah, I think the Ratchet and Clank game that I played the most was Up Your Arsenal. But I played that the most when I was a kid, so I don't remember a lot of it, but I bet if I did play it again, I would probably have a lot of nostalgia just seeing everything. But more recently, I've been playing the first Ratchet and Clank. I mean, I do really like that they went the route of, like, you know, they made innuendos with all their names. It was funny. Really clever devs. Samurai says, oh my god, peak. Yeah, that one was fun too. Yeah, it was fun. It was very fun. Let's see what we're at. 3 out of 1. It might be that we're missing stages. Like, we might have not done certain stages on here. That's probably why it's not showing all of them. So we've done Clifftown, Dr. Shemp. Okay, Alpine Wizard, or Alpine Ridge Wizard Peak. Okay. Okay, we are at Peacekeepers. Clifftown, Dr. Shemp. Yeah, we're missing some. Pretty sure we're missing some. Down here. Ice Cavern. Yeah, we're missing some. What are some other games that you grew up with, Samurai? Some other PS2 games? Maybe you have some games that I don't have that are classics. Or ones that I just might have that you know about. Let's see what this guy says. Ulrich. Oh, wow.
A word of caution, little one. Wait until you grow big. Like me. Before charging those large enemies.
Ulrich Stormcloak, telling other people to do his dirty work. Wait till you grow up like me. Not going into the fight. It's not really Ulrich of him. Not coming out of his place just swinging. Trying to defeat the Imperials. Samurai says, I don't know, seems like you've played most the ones I knew about. I was more of a Nintendo GameCube kid back then. Mortal Kombat Armageddon was one I mainly knew. Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Burnout. Ah, I see. Yeah, I do have Burnout 1 and 2. I haven't played 3, like Takedown or Revenge or one of those two, or I think it might have the same name actually, Revenge Takedown or something. But yeah, I've played 1, 2, and I've played Burnout Paradise.
Some big Norks up ahead are wearing armor. And in the ice cave, armor can make their feet very slippery.
Samurai says Revenge Takedown. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, for me, I was introduced to Burnout through Burnout Paradise. It wasn't until later that I got the Burnout 1 and 2 on PS2. But man, Burnout Paradise, I think to this day it's still like one of my favorite, if not the best, like realistic arcade racing games. Because the drifting in that is just so good. Like the whole open world, the drifting, the driving. I don't know if you've played it, but man, it's a good game. It's a really good game. Samurai says, Burnout Revenge was my first, and I still love the spark effects when trying to take out another racer. I'll have to try that. I'll have to see about getting that game. Yeah, that game, I don't know if it's on 360, but if it is, I'll probably have to check it out. Samurai says, oh yeah, I loved Paradise, really happy I got it on Xbox One. Samurai says it is? Okay. Cool. Nice. Yeah, then one of these days I'll have to get it, and then I'll have to do a stream of it. The only thing is that I do know that games like that have like copyrighted tracks from bands and stuff. Because I was thinking about doing Burnout on the PSP, because I do have, I forgot what it's called, but I have a Burnout on PSP that I haven't played yet. But it does have music from other bands, so I will do that sometime later. I also have Ridge Racer on PS2 and PSP. Oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. But yeah, Burnout Paradise's soundtrack is awesome. I listen to it like even just casually. Samurai says, Ridge Racer, damn, you are a gamer, holy. Yeah, dude, Ridge Racer's fun. Ridge Racer's really fun. Yeah, I also have this this other game. It's like a...
Thank you for releasing me.
Thank you for releasing me. I have this other game. I forget what it's called. Here, let me see really quick. It's like a Tokyo type of game. Let me see. Yeah, I have some racing games. I have Test Drive, I have Stunt Driver, I have Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, which, dude, this game is so good. Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, such a good game. Like, you can customize so many different things. The drifting and the driving, so good. I've always wanted to get Initial D on the PS1, but I just don't have a Japanese PS1. Or I think it might be on PS2. I just don't have a Japanese PS2. Samurai says, Extreme Racer? I never heard of it. Never got the chance to try it. Fair enough, yeah. One of these days I'll have to do it. It's a really good game. But yeah, dude, it's just, I have a huge library of games that I've just collected over time. You know, I was a collector. That's how I would spend my money that I would get, is spending it on games just out of the passion for game preservation and just having a complete in-box game with the manual. So, yeah, this channel is basically just to celebrate that. Celebrate classic gaming, and just for me to kind of explore what I missed out on as a kid. And you know, games like this, like Spyro, like I know I've played quite a bit, so that's why I can like talk about it very easily. But other games I would love to just explore and just kind of experience with you guys at the same time. Samurai says, Extreme Racer, never heard of it, never got the chance to try it. I think I already read that message. Samurai says, so I'm Polynesian and Tongan. Unfortunately, growing up, when I get new console, my previous game console and games were sent back to Tonga for my cousins and auntie. Ah, I see. I see. That makes sense. Yeah, I can see like families, you know, they tend to do that sort of stuff sometimes where it's almost like a hand-me-down, like you're upgrading to something new. So they're like, oh, you know, he doesn't need this, so we're gonna give it to someone else. You know, he already has one, that type of deal. So I totally get that. 44 dragons? Okay. But yeah, hopefully, you know, hopefully this channel can kind of shed some light on some games you might have missed out on. And Samurai says, exactly, do you know how pissed I was when they shipped off my GameCube and games without telling me my Metroid saves, bro? Damn. That sucks, man. That sucks. Yeah, I've had friends that have had that happen to them before. Like, you know, parents, I feel like at times just don't understand the value of video games and how much they mean to you, like growing up. Especially because they get you those games and they're like, hey, you know, let's get this game for our kid who's done really well or is excelling at something, or get it for them as a reward, something to distract them with, and you know, let's give it to them so that way they can enjoy themselves without pestering anyone else, right? And then, you know, you get the game, you love it, you're like, oh man, like this is sick, like this is awesome, and then it's just taken away from you. So yeah, it is pretty sad. It is pretty sad. I've had many friends that's happened to. But, you know, as we grow up, we do have opportunity to get those things again, to have them in our possession, to work towards building a little collection. But yeah, man, I hope one day you can relive that Metroid save. Those Metroid saves, and just kind of play through the game again. But I mean, I don't know if you do have a Metroid copy and a GameCube. But I do hope you do one day. Because it's nice to relive nostalgia. It's nice to relive nostalgia. Kohai says that sounds depressing, yes. Yeah, that does sound depressing.
Thank you for releasing me.
Samurai says, definitely. Still own my classic Wii, and still have Smash Bros. Brawl and Metroid Prime Trilogy. Already 100% of the game 3 times. I love Metroid Prime. It's my main childhood game. Nice, nice. Yeah, I've never been a big Nintendo person, but yeah, those are some solid recommendations from what I've heard. I've played Smash Bros. Brawl. I've played Mario Kart, obviously, Super Mario Bros., but I was never a Metroid person either. So I'll have to try that. I'll have to try that sometime. Yeah, one day I would love to get a GameCube, get the Game Boy player on the GameCube, and play some Game Boy games on stream. I do have a little small collection. I have like Shrek Super Slam, Crash Nitro Kart, Klonoa.
You are a good
I have a
glider,
Cat in the Hat game on
I was
Game
born to
Boy.
glide.
Hellflame says Sega Superstar Tennis. Yes, that's a good one too. That's a good game. Samurai says Metroid Prime could take a while. It's a lot of back training and get this and that and come back later. Prime 2 was the worst with this, but ironically Prime 2 is my favorite. First Prime have to be versus Mario Tennis. It is one of my favorite Wii games of all time. Nice. Yeah, you know, a GameCube game that I've played that I really liked was Mario Super Strikers. Dude, that game is so good. Like, it has no reason to be so good. It's like a sports game. But Nintendo did a great job with that. Samurai says, Super Strikers! Yeah, Super Strikers is so good. Also, Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash. What's very memorable to me in that game of Double Dash is Wario when he's like, I lost to a bunch of losers. I remember that line. It's funny. Samurai says, my brother was a Toad main, and he would fucking do flips over my goalie. Yeah, good memories with that game. Let's see what's over here. Ah, okay. But yeah, speaking of soccer, I've always been into soccer. I remember my first soccer game that I actually ever got was FIFA 14. I was really big into Messi. So I played that and I loved the soundtrack. I remember I was inspired by watching KSI, like to get into soccer, seeing his brother, him and his brother do like the slavery FIFA videos. I don't know if you've seen those, but yeah, they're so funny. But yeah, I played Mario Strikers later, but I do have really fond memories of it. And Samurai says FIFA is so fun, I'd play FIFA over 2K and Madden any day. Yeah, FIFA's pretty fun. Let me see over here. All right, we found it. There we go. Nice. Alright, dragon.
Incredible
Maximus.
glide, Spyro. I thought I'd be stuck here forever with those ugly vultures standing on my head. Those birds might look tough, but they're pretty tasty. Flame broiled, with a pinch of salt.
I guess man was hungry. Man was hungry while he was waiting. 3 out of 4 dragons, okay. Samurai says Maximus got the same model as Cletus. Cetus, Cletus. Same thing. Yeah, a lot of these dragons do look similar. They look pretty similar. They could be brothers. I mean, that one guy's name was Cletus, so he is a redneck. So he must have a lot of family. That's just the assumption that I'm making. Let's see what's over here. Oh, nice. Samurai says I'd assume the same. Yes. Yes, in Alabama, they do have a lot of family members. By what means, we do not know. Could be questionable, could be reasonable. We're not sure. Alright, here is the dragon that we're missing. Rescued Ivor.
That you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about? Ever since you're a wee puff of smoke, we've known,
Samurai says, I love you, Lud.
I forget.
Thanks, man. I love you too. Okay, let's see. I don't think there's a way to exit the world from here. So we're gonna have to go back. Okay. We'll just get all these gems and head back. Head on back. Wonder how many gems. 400. 328 out of 400. Yeah, dead end, okay. Alright, I think we can jump to the side over there. Let's see. Can glide? No? I think it's too far. Yeah, I believe it's too far. I'm 1 year old. Alright, cool. We got that. Now we have to go back to the top. Samurai says playing the same way you played as a kid, apparently. Yeah, I suppose. Old habits die hard. Good movie, by the way. Oh, cool. Okay. This leads us right back to the beginning then. Leads us right back to the start, or the end. The way to take us home. Alright, cool. Now we can fly over there. Nice. Alright. I think we're gonna get all the gems. Yep. Alright, we got them all. And we got all the dragons too. Sick. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back over there. And let's go home. Return home. Treasure found. 4016. Alright, cool. We have 2 more dragons that we're missing for the next world. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the last level that we can find. I think we've done all the levels for this one. So we'll do one more level and then we will call it, let's see, Magic Crafters. But man, I remember playing the remaster, and it looks incredible. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a part 2 to this game, to this for this streaming this game, and then afterwards probably stream the remaster. Or I'll probably do Spyro 2. Yeah, I'll probably do Spyro 2. That way it's a little consistent. Then we can kind of see the differences. Samurai says Spyro 2, yes. High Caves? I don't think we've gone to High Caves. Yes, Spyro 2, hell yeah. Alright, cool. So this one has 3 dragons. We just need 2. But we're gonna try to get all 3. Oh, tornado. Oh, alright. That was bad. Should have expected that. Let's go in the cave. Let's check out the cave. With all these... Ew. I forgot how to kill these guys. These are like spider arachnids. These are like the worst type of creature. Oh shit. This is like a terrible creature. This is horrifying. Imagine as a kid playing this, dude. Ah, I need to go behind him. Uh. Damn it. I think I'm just gonna leave him. Just gonna leave him be. I might need speed, a lot of speed to get rid of him. Alright, we got a dragon.
Thank you for releasing me.
I hate those bugs. When I become big and strong, like you, I'll squash them all.
Until then, remember that supercharge makes you invincible.
Yes, the supercharge. Yeah, this supercharge is gonna get rid of them. We can just try it just to see. Yep. Yep. And they give us gems when we defeat them. So it's almost mandatory. If you want to get all the gems for a level, you've got to do that. Oh. Uh-oh. Hee. All right. We need a butterfly. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of the last one. Oops. 1 year old. Sorry. Or yes, dragonfly. Sorry. I'm just paraphrasing. I just think it's a butterfly. Well, he's a dragonfly, but he eats butterflies. That's what it is. Yeah, because they were saying about his butterfly diet. So that's why I got it kind of mixed up. But you are right, Samurai. You are right. Now he's back to yellow. Yellow is full health. Kohai says, unrelated to the game, anyone ever see Dragon Tales? Yes, Dragon Tales is a great series. I remember growing up with it as a kid. You know, I even have the game on PS1. Just out of nostalgia, I got it. And the game is not that good. The game is very short, but on the positive note, it does have the entire theme song when you start up the game, so that's cool.
Try combining supercharge with jumping and gliding, and really explore the high caves.
Samurai says, didn't know it was a game. Or had a game. Yeah, it did have a game. Yeah, it is a pretty boring kind of puzzle-solving adventure game, like a side-walking game, a side-scrolling. You play as Max or Penny, and you walk around trying to play hide-and-seek, basically. You have to touch items and find where all the dragons are in each level. And I think there's like only 3 levels. It's pretty lackluster. Like, it's definitely made for like 2-year-olds to play, which is kind of a shame. It would be cool if they did like a 3D open world type of game, but I imagine the show for Dragon Tales didn't have much of a budget, and they were just trying to get something on PS1 for kids to just play and their parents to buy. Let's see what's over here. Nothing? Okay. It's just a platform. Just a raised platform. Oh. Okay. Oh, the fairy saved me. Hooray! Nice. Thank you, fairies. Okay, sweet. Hell yeah. Save me. Thank you. How many dragons? 2 out of 3? Okay. We've only collected 2 out of 3 dragons. Got it. Huh? Huh? Okay. I guess I killed him. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but I've never seen that before. That was random. Hacks? Wow. I guess we found a new strat for this like almost 30-year-old game. What the heck? Interesting. Samurai says he's cheating. I'm not cheating. I'm just playing the game the way it was made. Broken. Okay, I think we can make it from here. Let's go. Got him. Yeah, you really gotta cut the corners. You gotta cut the corners when you're racing, just in general. I've played too much Crash Team Racing to lose that. Okay, I think we got everything from over here. 397, 2 out of 3. Let me just double check because I was just running around. Samurai says he was hauling ass. This is my first time seeing that thing in the stream. Yeah, I guess the other times, yeah. I'm sure you were very confused as to what I was doing that first time when I blew the fire. But yeah, I had killed one of those blue guys when I was blowing that ceramic looking fan thing. Yeah, for some reason I killed him. I don't even know how I did that, but I guess I did, and he was like far away. Okay, so we have 50 dragons. Let's see what's over here. Samurai says, hey, it works and we're not complaining. Yeah, I know, right? Absolutely. If it works, it works. Alright, I'm just gonna save. Well, actually, I probably should have saved at the home world. That's a smart idea. Alright. Go ahead and save here. Alright. But yeah, guys, this has been Spyro 1 from 1998. The amount of times I succumbed to death was 25. Not something to be proud of, but it does happen. So, just gotta live with it. Samurai says part 1. Yes, this is part 1. But, you know, I appreciate you guys tuning into this stream. Shout out to Elite Bleb, Blame My Parents, Hellflame God, Ben Goku, Kohai Rosie, and of course, Samurai Bra. So I appreciate you guys, as always. If you guys are watching and you are interested in making new friends in terms of talking about video games and just gaming in general, feel free to join my Discord here. I'm going to put the link here below in the chat. But until next time, my friends, I hope you have a happy new year. Hope your day's going well. But yeah, Classic Luddy out.